Hey, everybody. Hope you're having a great Friday afternoon. This is the first time I've done this in quite some time, so bear with me for just a moment as I'm trying to get everything set up. So today's theme was going to be consistency because I really thought about, over the last couple months, I've not been very consistent on going live. And so that's a thing that I want to kind of take full responsibility for. And the reason I wanted to talk about that on a Friday afternoon was there's a lot of things going on right now. Politically, there's also a lot of things going on in the government with shutdowns and everything. A lot of my friends are out of work, kind of waiting to wonder what's going to happen with them. And there's also some of us on the industry side, trying to process contracts and perform on those and invoice and all these things. And so quite a bit of inconsistency right now. For those who know me well, you know that I'm a huge Buffalo Bills fan, so there's some consistency there, thankfully. I'm actually going to go up to a Bills game on Sunday, so wanted to kind of knock this out because I probably will not go live on Monday unless it's at a Bills game. But anyway, so the point of today is really talk about how we can be more consistent and get the things in our lives that we're really aiming for, kind of our goals. We talk about that a lot here. What is our personal, professional, and financial for our employees, and then also how do we consistently deliver our operational capability to the battlefield. So the first thing, I made a kind of a list of 10 things. The first thing is that consistency is not a choice. It's just something you do, right? And so sometimes it's easier just not to do the things that we don't want to do. So I'll use this as an example. We moved into our new facility back in June timeframe, and so when you go through a move, just like when you're moving your house, you've got things everywhere and you're not quite comfortable setting up with the way that maybe you had set it before. And so, trying to figure out how we would have this area set up where we could be doing these podcasts or going live, just really was give me a good example of how to make excuses as opposed to doing the things that I knew was important. So, it's about making a decision, and it's not about any emotion. It's just making time for the things that are important to you in your life. Those things could be things like going to the gym. It could be eating right, could be, going to church or whatever those things are. But for me, what I'm trying to do now is to start with kind of the non-negotiables, one to three things that I'm trying to spend more time working on. And so that's number two, start with the non-negotiables, right? Those things might be going to the gym every morning, eating a good breakfast, or maintaining some consistent things that you're trying to do every day. Now we're trying to spend about 30 to 60 minutes reading new books because there's a lot of knowledge that's there. And so for me, it's do push-ups, go to the gym, and read a book for 30 to 60 minutes. And if I consistently do that, there's going to be great outcomes in my life that just are going to compound over time. Okay, so number three is inconsistent times reveal what matters. So again, inconsistent times reveal what matters. And so as I was alluding to early on, right now it's very inconsistent in terms of the government shutdowns. We're not sure when the government's going to open back up. Certainly there's people that are feeling it way worse than we are. I remember back in 2013 when I was a government employee, and I was just wondering, man, am I ever going to have a job again? Do I need to go find something else? And you'd see all these people drive by as I was going for runs. And I was like, what kind of loser am I? I don't even have a job right now. And, how am I going to pay for my kids and my family? And, and so it was, what really revealed to me at that point was it was important. And so, I decided to go for runs with my wife, spent time, having lunch together. We'd go pick up the kids from school. And so really focusing on the important things during those inconsistent times, that's really, it teaches you something about, what's important in your life. Okay. The next one is we're going to build systems, not streaks. Okay. So what I mean by that is we're not going to rely on willpower or perfect streaks. We're just going to have a system. Every day I'm going to wake up, for me right now, I get up, get ready, grab a couple of things, make sure the coffee pot's gone because we need some coffee before I go to the gym. And I go step on the scale and say, okay, am I where I want to be or am I not? And either way, I'm still just going to be consistent and, have a system of doing the same thing every day. And those things compound over time. Okay, number 5, give yourself flexible consistency. And what I mean by flexible consistency is that I'm not being rigid. I'm not just doing 100% every single day. Sometimes I don't hit all the things that I want to do. So a couple nights ago, I ended up going to this local event in Tampa. I met a gentleman who may be the next mayor of Tampa. So I wasn't planning on doing that in the morning. A buddy of mine asked me to come do that. And so by the time I got home, it was 9:30. And I was just tired. And so I didn't read, the book that I wanted to read that night. But you know what? Later in the week, I read, we're doing a lot of the spa therapy thing. I'll probably share with that at some point. But I brought the book last night and I was sat there and I read. And so I still got the things that I needed to do, but just not 100%. Just not 100% dialed in. Okay. The other thing is your consistency inspires others, right? So that's what I'm really trying to do here is I'm trying to inspire others to do things that maybe they know they need to do, and so we do that here at our company, Ombra. Every day we have a 9:00 meeting. We get everybody excited about the day, all the amazing accomplishments that people are having, either internal to the business or externally. We've got a young gentleman right now who's leaving on Monday. He's going to have a second child, so we're really celebrating him. And so when you're consistent and where you're doing the right thing, it inspires others to kind of follow along. And so sometimes you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for others, right? And so that to me is super important. All right. So next thing, trust the invisible progress. Okay. So what does that mean? So, I remember back when I was a military guy, we were doing this program. It was called Body for Life. And so other old people like me, you'll remember that. That was Bill Phillips was the guy. He wrote this book. And I think it was a 16-week program. It might have been a 12-week program. And so every day I would eat, kind of very bland food, Monday through Saturday. Sunday was the cheat day. And by the time you ate, pizza and wings and beer and all this other stuff, by Monday, you're ready back to that yogurt. And so over time, it was amazing. There was 3 of us. All of us were in the military together. And we all lost like 20 pounds over, I think it was a 12-week period. And so it didn't happen overnight. It's just amazing. Like over a period of time, just being consistent, you just made invisible progress. So best example I have of that. All right. Inconsistent times, test your commitment. Okay. So that's number 8. Inconsistent times, test your commitment. So what do we mean by that? It's so easy right now not to talk to customers and just kind of sit back and just wait for the government to open back up and maybe take a step back a little bit. And so we're really pressing ourselves right now to really keep on moving forward. Eventually, the government's going to open back up. And if we don't take advantage of the time that we have right now, then we're going to find ourselves behind. And so we do a lot of work with the Small Business Innovative Research Program, or SBIR. And so they've delayed the SBIR program, whether or not it starts back up or not, a little bit to be determined. But that whole proposal process that our team was going to go through, we can't work on that right now. And so what we're working on now is some RFIs, some requests for information. So we're pulling all that stuff forward because we need to be disciplined. We need to make sure we get those things out, because soon as this period ends, we've got some contracts we're waiting to start up. And so, we really need to be committed to doing the things that are important and being disciplined. So the next one, number 9, anchor to identity, not outcomes. So who are you? Who are we here? And I'm using a lot of examples based on our current situation, but a lot of conversations here at Ombra. A lot of young people, they're not really sure, what's going to happen. But really, who are you and what are you trying to accomplish? And that's really what we're talking about here. And so again, for us, we're trying to be the best at our craft as possible. There was a guy I used to work with me, and he said, Mike, I'm not trying to get promoted. I'm just trying to get better at the things that I'm supposed to be doing here. I'm trying to hone my craft. So, anchor into your identity. Don't worry about the actual day-to-day outcome. It'll all be okay. And then finally, tomorrow starts today. So, every day, you get a chance to start all over again. And so even again during these inconsistent times. I guess COVID is probably a great example of that. I remember my daughter was with me for quite some time, and we would just get up every day, and she was 12, I think, at the time, and she'd just do her homework, and I'd be down before we had an office, and I'd be down working on engineering problems or working with clients. And by the end of the day, it's like 9 o'clock, and you're like, wow, this is like Groundhog Day. But the next day really did start already before I went to bed. Are you prepared? Did you sip the coffee? Are you ready to go? And so anyway, so I hope this was helpful for you all. Go ahead and like or comment and share the post. You can hit the QR code. Tell me what you want to hear more about. I'm going to be more consistent starting probably Tuesday next week. We're going to fly up on Sunday, go to the Bills game. It's going to be an 8 o'clock game. It's going to be amazing at Highmark Stadium. And then we'll come back on Monday, and I'll probably be very tired because I think I've got a late flight that night. But this was for all of you that like and comment on all of our things we're doing here. And thanks so much for watching today. And I hope you have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend.